silly very quickly.
I'm just waiting
What
for
have I
Sean to say we are
done?
live, and I can click the duck button. Oh no! Did we lose?
Stuart, no! The
Stuart!
ducks got him!
Ducks in chat.
Stop making it worse. Awesome. Thank you very much, Sean. Okay. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome back to a hastily cobbled together session of the Gendermaker stream from Assembled Adventurers. This is a run through of Pathfinder's Kingmaker module, with proceeds going towards Gendered Intelligence, a charity in the UK who helps trans and gender diverse children. Joining me are my lovely would-be kings. Say hello, would-be kings. I am surrounded by children. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that. So, last time we all gathered together, we just finished wrapping up the chapter known as Rivers Run Red, which ended with a fight with a colossally sized owlbear who had broken through a large section of the capital town of Shrikewall, caused a lot of damage, and then was tracked down and eventually slain by the party. Gathering themselves together, they managed to return back and see that reconstruction efforts are already underway as they arrive, and they get a chance to rest, to recover from everything that they've been through, and recombobulate, as it were. A few days or so, once you've gotten your time to properly catch your breath and assess everything that's going on, you decide to head out. As on the way back from taking out the owlbear, you gathered up some specific mushrooms, black rattlecaps, slaying a large plant creature called a tendriculus in order to do so, which was a favour for a witch known as the Old Beldame. So as I very gently set my players on this lovely railroad I've set up, your first stop is to head to the Old Beldame to deliver them. So a short journey out from Shrikewall, you head through the marshy fen area where the Old Beldame lives, and you see her house set up, a fenced area surrounding a quite modest looking house, with a creepy looking scarecrow set up near the gate, and a small bell set up by the entrance gate. No one appears to be there. What would you like to do?
I think we ding the bell, right? We need to politely announce our presence.
Yeah.
Completely non-obnoxious manner.
Okay. So ringing the bell, nothing happens for a few seconds to begin with, except for the scarecrow does visibly turn its head towards you. Still hung up on the T-shaped twigs that are holding it up, but eventually the woman does open it up, blocks you, and says, "Oh, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting you back.
Was
I'll
the
be
plan
honest, I wasn't
nice?
expecting to come back.
And yet here we both are.
Gore provides a picnic box to said old lady full of the black rattle caps.
The mushrooms gently they gained their name from having large hollow heads on the mushrooms that rattle when you shake them. She looks them over and says, "Oh yes, the rattle caps. You actually managed to get them. I hope the guardian of the place didn't give you too much trouble."
Coriel visibly twitches upon the mention of that thing.
It
Absolutely
was
fine.
fine. He
No,
was fine.
I
no
don't
problem
like
at
being
all.
locked inside my own body. That wasn't fun.
Just gonna double check how much you got. You got 17. All right, just set them next to the scarecrow, and I'll go and gather up what I owe. She heads in and then comes back out with a pretty sizable looking bag of gold. And as she quickly counts through the mushrooms that are gathered up, she deposits a total of 170 gold pieces in a nice looking sack that she places back in Gore's hand.
Thank you very much.
If you're still here, Your Grace, those things will grow back in about 4 years' time.
Noted. And the Guardian, will that grow back in 4 years' time?
Who knows? It's a first world creature. Could be back by now already.
Noted.
Yeah, if there's a planned second expedition, I ain't going. Just putting that out there.
Howard!
I don't like being paralyzed and like swallowed.
All right then. Bye then, Your Grace. We'll see you or whoever replaces you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I like this woman.
She kind of gets it.
She reminds me of Mummy Ma.
Mine too. It's
So
the
heading
coincidence.
back to Shrikewall, you see there is a caravan of building supplies that is coming in from the eastern side of the city, and the people that are with this group say that they are with the village of Varnhold, which is the settlement that's set up on the other side of the mountains to the east. They heard you were having some trouble, and since they were doing quite well for themselves, they decided to give you a hand.
I will take on the diplomatic thing. Like, thank them very much. Offer them the hospitality that such it is of Shrikewall. Make sure they're properly paid for their materials, or at least offer some sort of trade up with them. The sort of pleasant chit chat that goes on in those sort of matters.
The envoy says, if you do want to offer something in return, we would quite like that owlbear. The body, at least. Lord Van wants it as a trophy if you're not using it.
I sort of look around at the rest of the party and like, are we using it for anything?
It's not venomous, so no, not for me.
Gore, do you need any jumper or anything, or?
No, it's very hard to knit with owlbear.
Do we have to be the ones to go get it and haul it back?
Oh, don't worry, we'll sort that.
Excellent. Because that thing's heavy.
We'll sort it with the next caravan. You've got plenty of damage to rebuild, I can see. We'll be back in a few weeks.
Can I roll a sense motive just on the off chance that they're planning something sinister with this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
It might be a bit gooey by then.
You don't sense anything untoward.
Okay.
So yes, with the materials that Von Holt provides you, you're able to much more quickly get everything up and running and even start expanding out the buildings and be able to turn Shrikewall into a proper town at this stage. More and more people are starting to come in from primarily from Rosland up in the north, but there are people who come over from the various like small places all across the Stolen Lands who, now that there's a distinct place that they can actually settle, are starting to come over and ply their trade. Olegton up in the north, Oleg's old trading post, is also starting to grow and expand to change from like a hunting outpost into a town in its own right. And the region that you cleared of Tatzelworms a while ago, that was marked as a possible place for a settlement, has also grown into its own village that they are calling Tatzelford.
Nice.
So at this stage, a few weeks pass of you just attending to the duties of statesmanship. Resolving territory disputes and farming rights and lots of stuff that is very time consuming but also not interesting, so we'll be skipping over it. And you start the time that you were expecting the next shipment from Von Hold approaches and passes without anyone coming.
Huh.
Well, that's not good.
There's no word from them whatsoever.
Has there been multiple caravans from them, or is this just the second one to come, basically?
So this was the second, basically big one that you were expecting. There has been trade back and forth for a while, but looking through records, you do then realize that the trade between you and Von Holt has also stopped.
So we haven't sent anything out either then, or?
Some people you that have gone out towards Von Holt have not come back.
Okay.
That's not good. Do you think the baby got them?
Potentially, if it had a scent of the mother, and
yeah, if they went to get.
Do we have runners we can send, or fast horses we can go and send towards Varnholt and take a look? Do we have an army? Do we have scouts?
I've got a sneaking suspicion that's us.
I mean, I don't like putting other people in danger that I could just go and look at myself. You're welcome to all come with me if you wish.
Please understand. I would march on a literal dragon right now if it meant that I did not have to do another page of tax reforms.
I am not saying this because I want out of hosting conferences either. I mean,
I am.
Okay, so we're very much on board, and let's go investigate this thing ourselves. Corhill.
Let's go.
I'm sure Aurora can look after the
So my
So-
understanding is we need to go somewhere this way-ish.
Yeah, so the tile that I've marked green for you is basically like the crossing point.
Ah.
Like you can cross the mountains, but it is about as easy as crossing a mountain is.
Mm.
Straight line it is. Could you mark on the map where our little villages are?
Yes, let's have a look. So,
Do we have roads yet?
so Olicton is this one up here.
I'm going to draw
This
a
one I've
little
marked in
house
green.
icon.
And then
All I'm saying is we have not had great success with the whole climbing thing in the past. We should probably not try that again.
Jin develops a 1,000-yard stare trying to remember climbing a wall.
and then this one here that you marked as potential settlement is Tattleford.
Cool.
So you do know that work was beginning on building a road east between you and Van Hold. And you do know that from the people that you have sent who did come back, that the route there is pretty straightforward. Like, there's no major threats to worry about.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to go a different route because we're trying to investigate what happened on this route. So
Yep. So the route is a pretty straightforward
Is it this
heading
way?
across to
Oh, no.
where you found the tomb, and then straight up, crossing past the mountains, and then across into Von Hold. Von Hold, you know, is... I'm going to mark this one in red for you. You know Von Hold's there.
okay, cool. Start making arrangements to get ourselves kitted to go.
Yeah. So the journey itself will take you probably in the region of a day or two. It's a lot faster on the roads. But people who do know the area recommend, like, probably packing a decent amount there. There is a lot of there are a lot of resources in that area of Von Hold, but it is also quite dangerous. So they recommend like packing supplies accordingly.
Okay.
We should definitely pack some supplies then.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have time to track down a particular spell scroll and copy it across to a formula book?
Yeah, that can easily have been done in the weeks you were sorting things out.
How much money do we have as a group? Because my character sheet is very light pursed.
I apparently have 170 gold. Plus, we have the 170 we got from selling mushrooms.
There's quite a bit in the loot box that we've not.
I have 22.
Oh no.
I'm poor.
I have 55 gold, which I'm saving. I mean, part of the loot, we've got like 1,600 gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if I can dip into that and buy myself a scroll of dark vision. Which I think requires some spellcraft checks and things to copy across.
Ooh, I could do with one of those actually as well.
Well, here's the thing: if I get it into my formula book, you can copy it from my formula book.
Oh yeah. I forgot you also have a book.
Do have a book.
So, is this taking like more than a day to get prepared to go, Alex, or is this?
No, this can easily be basically like part of the week, so you can just
Cool.
when you decide to go out, you're ready to go.
Just before we head out, but with enough time to gain the spell slot back, can I cast Augury? And with the, I believe I have to ask a question on that one.
Check. Augury. Yes. So you describe a particular action and spend the 25 gold.
Okay. Cool. Give me a second to think of the action, then while other people can sort stuff. I will remove the 25 gold though. Do the many has any suggestions of what they ask? That would also be handy.
Have we identified the wand with the red orb in the equipment stash? Does anyone have that?
Where's that from? Oh, I think that was early on, wasn't it? Yeah, that's a once per day burning hands wand, which I've got in my kit.
Okay. It might be worth going through the party loot at some point and knocking off or assigning to people who has what.
Probably a good idea to sell a bunch of stuff. Like I've got the wand of cure light wounds, I believe, and I think the wand with red orb.
I've got the lightning bolt wand.
Did somebody get the +1 natural armor amulet? Can't remember who has that now. We'll sort those later. We should do
Yeah.
we should do an inventory session at some point.
That'll be fun.
Always the
What?
best part of any good thought. Good
Accounting.
session. Okay, so pondering your choices in your equipment as you go, you start to make your way across. So the first day passes very uneventfully. This is the section of road that your people have been working on, and so it's a nice like paved section. You spot as you're walking through. So southeast of you, you see the edges of what's called Lake Silver Step, which is a big 3-talon-shaped lake in the region. And according to local rumor, it was formed when water flooded into the footprint made by a giant silver dragon, hence the name.
Pretty big dragon.
Yep. So that's the augury action, Alex.
Yeah.
You have to secretly make a roll, I believe.
Yes. So the result you get from your query is nothing. That's not you don't receive a query. It's you will not receive especially good or bad results.
Okay.
You get the sense that the journey there will be safe.
Okay. Do I have a chance to cast this again before we get there? I'm sure I would, but would I have a chance to refresh the spell slot and just cast it again rather than?
Potentially yes, but the augury doesn't see very far into the future. Just to warn you.
Okay.
So yes, you see Lake Silverstep. There is a village that has existed for some time before Shrikewall was established. But your way carries you up. There's not an easy way across the mountains from that way, so you start to head up instead. So as you're heading up, can everyone give me perception checks, please?
I failed to copy the dark vision spell into my formula book and cannot attempt it again for another week. If Mara wants to attempt it, she is more than welcome to.
Yes, please.
I see everything.
This is the first time I've encountered this rule set. It's spellcraft.
Yep.
I don't know if that's enough.
It's 15 plus the level of the spell, so.
Not quite.
No. Bugger. No dark vision for us.
We're both terrible.
Hey, okay, look.
Stop reading the book at night.
This is not my area of expertise, okay? I work
Go to
with...
bed.
This is wizard nonsense.
It's true, it is.
Do I
Have you
not-
tried praying for the answers?
Have you tried just being able to see in the dark? Eat some carrots, they're good for you.
No potions for you.
So as you're crossing through the mountain range, that I believe called the Tours of Lebanese, there's a big dip, like a valley in the middle, which is the crossing point, and it as it goes up into this area southeast of you, it goes upwards into a peak. Hello, Aurora. I'll continue my description as we go. As you're going across, there's a cloud that basically crosses over the sun and then, so suddenly creates some shade and then passes over. And looking up, you see a very large black cloud. And then as you focus a little bit, Coriel and Gore notice that that's not a cloud, that's a bird.
Gore instinctively readies his axe.
It's very, very high up, which is why you thought it was a cloud to begin with.
Gore
Any idea of what that could be?
Give me a knowledge
Big.
nature check.
Okay.
It's big.
Several sessions ago, I apparently used investigative mind and have never actually used the charges from it, and its duration is until discharged. So I am going to use one of those if I need.
Yep.
The 25 is good. I will add inspo onto that. So 29.
Cool. Coriel, you recognize this is a rock. ROC.
Yeah. Yeah, the second, like, it was like, big bird. And then he said, I heard the R, and I'm like, yep, okay.
Hey, quick question for those of us who are less naturally inclined. Do those eat people?
So rocks are birds that are typically about 30 feet long from beak to tail and have a wingspan of 80 foot or more.
Naturally, predominantly inclined to eat people, questionable. Able to, yes.
I'm just gonna post in in the channel of a rock carrying one of its usual methods of prey.
So it's like, I think it's the 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons monster manual has one carrying a whale.
This one's carrying a mammoth.
Yeah.
I mean, Mara, you might be so small it can't actually physically pick you up.
Coriel, you know enough about these creatures to know that that they are usually white feathered. So a black feathered one is unusual.
Okay, this one's not normal. Are we like out fully in the open, completely exposed?
From what you can judge, it doesn't seem to be like actively hunting you. It's just it's you. It's basically you have crossed somewhat into its territory. But from your best guess of where rocks nest, it's probably nested on the peak of the mountain.
The mountain that people have been crossing to get from town to town.
So this peak here.
Ah.
Shall we keep going in our direction and see if that rock thinks that this area we want to go through is also its territory? Because that could explain what's been happening to all of the caravans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like
So hang on.
2 plus 2 equals 2.
Can we just go back on this? You're telling me that you suspect that the rock has been destroying entire caravans
Potentially.
Yes.
without leaving survivors. That's one hungry bird.
Yeah. Unless
Well, it might not be about hungry. It might be about territory.
It might also be nesting and have chicks.
that's what I was potentially thinking. Like, can we stop dealing with apex predators that have young that they're trying to like nurture?
I
If we do,
suggest
you
that
at
we
least let
go
me keep one
around.
this time.
What happened
No.
to the days of fighting bandit camps? I miss those.
Shall we keep on moving and see if it follows us? Because if we can get to Van and get more information, that would be better. If we have to go up the mountain to fight a rock, I'd like more information. Or to not,
Yes, I
or
would
to send
like to-
or send in an army. Why don't we have an army yet, Jin?
Because none of us like doing logistics about organizing one, and also it looks like a threat to anybody like nearby.
But army.
God,
Yeah,
you just have to embrace the fact that you're a one-man army. You just
I'm
have
a
to embrace
general of
that.
one person.
Well, then the general
Not
should be
all.
recruiting.
You guys are allowed to make an army.
Gore, you're allowed to make an army.
Can I have an eye?
Now that's the good stuff.
You can certainly train up some people to help you with your artillery expertise.
God, how have I already got a conscription letter? How did you do that?
Why have I got a conscription letter already?
Okay, so heading over into the crossing area, the rock does the rock flies off south, and you start to lose it amongst the clouds as it flies off. Where are...
Coriel will definitely keep like head on a swivel with eyes to the sky.
Give me just a second. I've lost my map details, which is very annoying.
To do. I have got one
I wonder
prepared.
what Mara's planning. We should be aware that we'll probably get here, and there's every chance we'll find a ruined town. There's every chance that the large oil bear corpse is what attracted the rock.
No, those were in a completely different direction, though.
Hmm.
Well, I thought Varn was the ones who were taking the owlbear corpse.
I don't know.
from-
I know
Rock-
they were
well,
taking
I
a
don't
lot.
know if rocks are big on carrion.
Hmm.
Like they are a predatory creature rather than.
But
Uh,
on that because this is the first one I've seen.
in Coriel's expert opinion, these are the types of creatures to leave carrion, not like to make carrion, not eat it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, we haven't seen any destruction on the route so far. Then
Hmm.
Do we have another idiot, arrogant human thinks that he can control an apex predator kind of nonsense again? Is this someone's pet? So I'm thinking if I'm not allowed one, then no one else is either.
Imagine the size of the falconry glove.
So crossing over into this valley, you see a watchtower that has been set up in this area. That bears the markings of Mago Varn, who is the leader of Varnhold's mercenary company. There doesn't appear to be anybody there.
We should investigate and see if we can figure out where they all went. And if there are signs of a struggle.
Hang on, and first thing, the building is still standing. It probably wasn't the bird.
Yeah, that's kind of sus. Unless got them all while they were out on patrol.
What I'm mainly going to do is assume Coriel can find this stuff because Coriel's a lot more perceptive than I am.
Yeah, I will have a good sort of go over the place.
Cool. Give me a perception check as you look through.
First, I am going to take acute senses extract and a heightened awareness extract.
Mhm.
Give myself all the boosts, I think. Yep, they stack. Who doesn't love a cheeky plus 12 on rolls?
I was going to offer a guidance on top of that, but I think you're good.
I mean, that plus 1 might make all the difference.
Aha, I found
You'd already rolled it before I offered it. That's the problem.
there it is.
41 isn't a very good number.
42 is a
42.
number.
Okay,
So
so
that's a poor roll, I think. That's a...
Yeah.
uh,
I can see the failure written in big red letters right there, so it must be.
Heading up and through the watchtower, you can see this is made with. This is a very practically made watchtower. Not very many frills to it. But climbing up the 30 or so feet that it goes up, you discover the watchtower is completely abandoned, and there is no sign of struggle anywhere. And then heading up to the top of the tower, you can very clearly see the village of Varnholds to your southeast.
How is that looking? I mean, if the fact that we can see a village is a good starting point, like it's.
Certainly no obvious signs of trouble. There's no there's no sign of like obvious damage or fires or anything like that. Looks perfectly fine.
Can I, from the center of this fort, cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, certainly.
Do I need to roll anything?
I don't think so. So apart from the magical auras surrounding your party members and that and whatever items they may have, you don't detect any signs of magic anywhere.
Well, either if they were taken by magic, it's either happened so long ago it's worn away by now, or they've all just got up and left.
Now, I'm not very smart, but how long ago would magic have to have been used for it to have worn away? Like,
That is
are
a
we
very good
talking
question.
days?
Depends a lot. Magic's really strange like that. It might be that theoretically a spell could have been cast elsewhere that affected this area. In which case the magic would more likely linger at the ritual site rather than the target. But there is no sign of magic that you can see here.
Well,
Nothing magical was cast here recently.
okay. Well, unless someone has a pressing idea, I guess we go to the village.
Have a look around for any diaries or journals that might be about. If they've just got
What's the status of? Obviously, there's no signs of a struggle, but does it look like things have been sort of abandoned mid-task? Are there like half-eaten bowls of food around, or does everything look like tidy and sterile?
There are things like weapons racks that are kind of stocked up. There's the odd sets of things like mugs and plates scattered around. Nothing indicates that they were in the direct middle of something, but it just looks like everyone just left.
Okay.
You can find a logbook in the watchtower that basically just describes comings and goings. That looks pretty mundane and just stops suddenly. Around at some point a few weeks ago, as you can see from the dates, the logbook just kind of stops.
Well, that's sus.
Like they were noting things down, and then just the next day never came.
And there's no set of tracks leading like anywhere from here.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here in a while.
I think onwards to the village it is.
Yeah, for now.
What about there's no one there either?
Not really.
Guess we'll find out.
A pretty short journey down from the watchtower down to Varnhold. And should hopefully be able to just take you into the village directly. So everything should probably be black for you at the moment. I'm just gonna pick your characters on there, and then you should be able to see things.
As we're approaching the town, I know it's a very short distance. I sort of say to the group, like, maybe we should shout that we're coming. You say that, Gore, but I mean, I'd rather fight out in the open than in cramped confines of a small village.
We should approach the village quietly, just in case there is anything menacing or evil in the area. We don't want them to attack us out in the open.
Oh,
No
no.
offense, I'm taking our military leader on this one.
Do I follow our general or our king? It's a civil war.
No, I'm happy to follow Gore's lead in this one.
Oh, phew, it's now only a military coup.
You should be able to see the map now.
Ooh.
This
It's lovely.
is bigger than I was expecting.
I'm a little perturbed about the house, about like near the south of the town. It's only half a house, but
It's only half a house.
Look, we've all been
But
there.
it's probably a mine or something.
yeah, true.
What
It's,
do
it's a little hobbit home.
Coriel, do you want to go have an investigate around this building? We'll hang back and let you have a look.
Yep, sure. I will wander over to this house.
Be all speaky.
Okay, so
Oh man, there's so many loot.
How long has it taken for us to get here from the watchtower?
maybe an hour at most.
Double check
So,
how long durations are.
So Von Hall consists of two areas. There's the village that you've just walked into, and there's what's called the blockhouse, which is a more fortified section that has like what's what I'm looking for? Like spiked fences around the edge of it, and a more fortified series of buildings. This way, these are buildings with stone foundations and wooden walls.
And they all are generally intact.
The buildings look perfectly intact. You don't hear any signs of human or otherwise life.
So no cooking
It's
fires, no smoke, no.
No, and it is deathly quiet.
Birds, pets, anything like that? No.
You do see some. You see the occasional raven flying around. But there's not the. You'd expect like some level of background noise just from like, fires burning, people talking amongst themselves, craftsmen working on things, and you don't hear any of that. So you're heading to that one first.
I'm gonna have like a skulk around and see if I can see anything at all. Like,
So the four buildings around here, the ones all marked A2, they're all a very similar situation. They're all farmhouses with like shuttered windows and things like that. You take a quick look through them, and even without quick investigation, you can see that no one's been here in weeks. But they all show evidence of like half-finished tasks that indicate that whatever happened while people were in the middle of something. But yeah, there's no sign of any struggle. There's no signs of life, and there's a layer of dust that indicates that nothing's disturbed them in several weeks.
I'm going to head back to the others. It's like, I do not like this.
No.
Nothing.
Give me a perception check as you go through, Coriel.
Okay. Nothing has happened for weeks.
So 28. Okay. You get a kind of prickle in the back of your neck sometimes as you're investigating through, but nothing catches your eye as you look around.
Hmm. Well, whatever happened probably happened during the day.
What makes you say that?
Because if it was at night, people would have had fires in their homes, and the idea that none of them went out of control.
Nothing's out of control. I'm guessing like there's no signs of like anybody having cooked anything.
So it, you do notice in some of them it was like, there was the start of like a meal preparation, but like the fire is burned out and the food is spoiled.
Hmm.
Does anyone sense anything magical in the area?
We sure that the ravens aren't the culprits?
This must be some sort of magic, right? People don't just disappear in a spot.
No.
Not without cause. Not without reason.
But also, it's not just people. There doesn't seem to be any livestock, pets, or anything around as well. So something's affected everything.
I think we make a way up to the big fortified building at the back.
This one?
Let's no, up down here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if they were doing anything, or if they brought anything back, or they annoyed a particularly powerful spirit or fae or something.
At the point you say Faye, the dwarf drops what he was holding. He's like,
This is not my department. This is magic. I'll get back to my knitting, but we should head down.
Before
Yeah.
we move too far on, shall we share a drink?
Sure.
Offer up some tears to wine so that we get a +2 enhancement bonus to all intelligence and wisdom based skill checks.
the temptation to take my mutagen so that it cancels out the wisdom bar.
+2 to wisdom and
Intelligence.
okay.
So yes, these buildings that you've come across, they're all various levels of just like kind of farmhouses. So that it doesn't look like these people had any particular job. They don't look like workshops. But the other buildings around are like visibly different. It's like down here, for example, A13 is a church.
Do we mind if we check out the church on the way as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that
Let's do it.
It's on the way.
definitely sounds like a sensible place to go. You never know if you're going to find a desecrated shrine or something that might have pissed someone off.
Hmm.
Okay. So as you walk up, you can see very clearly this is a church to Erastil, who is the god of, among other things, the hunt and civilization. There's a big bow sigil, which is Erastil's symbol. You can see immediately from the church that the front door has been smashed open.
Well, our first evidence of something.
It's been smashed open, and you can tell that, like, things have been disturbed, but there's no sign of so there's no sign of specific violence. There's no bloodstains that you can see, for example. But
Quick
looks like
question.
something's looted the place.
Just to double check, smashed in or smashed outward?
I was
It-
just about to ask the same thing.
Smashed in.
Smashed
Is there any way that we can make a rough estimate of how long ago that happened? I understand if the answer's no.
Give me a perception check. I think that's the easiest way of
Is that
determining it.
anybody on that one?
I choose to fail.
I'm rolling so badly.
I assume I won't feel, or I assume I will feel, so I'm not even rolling.
So with Tears to Wine, that's a 27, so still less than Coriel. With his, I'm rolling so badly.
Well, that's the
Let's
thing,
roll for the crack.
Aside from the knowledge nature checks, I have not rolled above 10.
This is why I choose not to roll.
So Coriel, give me a knowledge nature check, and then I'll describe what's happening to everyone else.
I'm going to use investigative mind again. I'll go with the 31 and add a 7 onto that.
Cool. So
Anytime you need that guidance, just let me know.
so Mara and Gore start looking through, and a few facts immediately become apparent as you're kind of investigating what's happened. So there's no sign of a barricade on the other side of the door, for example. It just looks like someone broke the door open. From what you can tell, this is relatively recent damage in the sense that like in the past few weeks something broke the door open, rooted through things, and then left.
So it could have been before or after the disappearances.
Weird or possibly dumb question. Does the door have a lock?
Doesn't look like it. Not that you
Nice
can
match.
see.
If there's no barricade and no lock, why not just open?
Maybe they just were angry.
Locks aren't always physical.
That's true.
Coriel, you're initially starting to look through the damage at the church, and then you get that prickle on the back of your neck again. And as you look around, you see a raven looking directly at you.
I will look directly back at it.
You know enough about ravens to know that this is weird behavior.
Coriel's fighting with birds again.
Can I make either knowledge religion or knowledge planes check to see if I know if there's any connection between ravens and the hunt god, or ravens and the fae?
Yes. Whichever one you roll will determine what the answer is.
I'm going to go for knowledge planes because it's my higher one. I'm mainly thinking, is there any connection between ravens and the fae?
Okay. From what you know, not especially. So, fae are prolific shapeshifters, but they rarely take that kind of form. The thing that you most seem to think of as soon as Coriel points it out is that it's probably a familiar. Like that's your best guess is what's going on.
Okay. Hi, Raven friend. Do you talk?
As you talk to the raven, it flies off.
Ah. Beans.
Mara, this is why we let other people do the talking.
It takes off and flies southwest.
I have a feeling that was something familiar.
Should we follow that? I feel like we should follow that.
I kind of want to look inside the church first, see if there's anything disturbed or any reason why I would have been breaking in here.
It did go to fly in the direction of the fort, at least. It may have flown further. I'm blind in the day pretty much.
Look, I'm not suggesting we should split the party and some people go chase it, but it's an option. I just want to look at the church.
If it really wants us to follow, surely it will make sure that we can see it.
True.
Let's look inside the church whilst we're here, and I'll move on.
Yes, sir.
Time.
Cool.
That's the sort of pluck this army needs. Cool. I'm going to go in and particularly look for the altar, any reliquaries, any any sign saying do not break this artifact.
Yeah, so it looks like whatever ransacked this place did seem to grab anything that looked like it might be of value. So the main things are things like pews and prayer books and other things have just been scattered about where they lay. But you can give me a perception check to have a look through if you'd like.
Can I guidance myself first before I do that?
Sure.
This will be a +1 to this.
Something really.
Oh,
does
that's
not
noise,
like
please.
that.
That's 23 for the perception.
From your hunt through, Jin, you don't seem to see anything. But from your experience, there are sometimes stashes that are kept inside churches like this in case of emergency. You're just not sure where it is.
I'm not a religious goblin, so could someone who are enemies of what was it? Bogod.
Elrastil?
Erastil.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah. So Erastil is one of the. Most people know that Erastil is one of the oldest gods that's still around. The only one older is probably Pharasma. And Erastil generally is on pretty good terms with most people. The only enemies as such that Erastil might have are the specifically evil gods.
Probably not God if they're evil. They do way worse. Speaking from experience, I mean, they do way worse.
Side-eyes the goblin.
Coriel, if you were of the persuasion to be trying to loot a church, where would you have a look to see if things were hidden? I can't find where I would hide the stuff in here, but that doesn't mean to say somebody who. Yeah.
Under a big flagstone near the altar.
I'm going to have a scan over the place, see if I can spot anything.
From experience in looting, I mean, yeah, flagstone altar sounds good.
I just want to make sure they haven't. This could be opportunistic bandits, but it could be something else and more important.
Yeah. Is there any evidence that any of these structures, like the altar or anything else, move, like scrape marks on the floor?
Coriel, with the practice of a thief, that you obviously are not, but you understand the minds of one.
Totally not.
You catch a sight of a hidden drawer inside the altar, and checking it through and finding nothing in the way of traps. You click it open, and there are 10 scrolls inside.
do I give it the Fonzie sort of like just a nudge with the elbow and it pops open?
Hey.
It's more
Also
just
starts
you're
playing a hymn for some reason.
you kind of think of it in terms of like a burglary, and you're like, okay, so this has already been looked through. Okay, it's here. And there's a series of scrolls in here that you can kind of feel the soft hum of divine power as you take them out.
I think these might be of interest to you, Jin.
I would just say, and I recognise that this is weird, being any kind of voice of reason whatsoever. Given everything that we suspect has recently occurred, we should maybe not loot the church anymore.
Look, have you considered that if Erastil didn't want us to have this, then someone else would have taken it already?
Are you sure you're not a
Point.
follower of Pharasma?
No,
look.
Goblin's right. I retract my statement. Carry on.
Jin will recognise this as an in case of emergency stash.
This feels like an emergency.
Do we know what they are? Or can we figure-
I will try and have a look now. If somebody can tell me what I need to roll, I will have a.
Do you have the spell read magic? Because this is literally what its main use is.
As a cleric, Jin will probably recognise these scrolls. You find
These are scrolls.
3 scrolls of heal, 3 scrolls of remove paralysis, 1 scroll of restoration, 1 of remove curse, 1 of breath of life, and 1 of raise dead.
Cool. Could I get a copy and paste of that, please? Just so.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a emergency stash.
That's like the minimum was what, spell level 3?
Mhm.
Whoever
Case of
made
emergency.
these scrolls was pretty powerful.
I believe these are mostly things I can do already, but
Yes. These are all spells that clerics can cast.
yeah. I'll add them to my inventory for now, but I'm not sure I should be carrying them all in case of emergency.
I think you're the only person who can use them.
Oh, okay. Then in that case,
I can attempt to use them.
Felspark and
I-
you both, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know how our character. I don't know how the Pathfinder scroll rules work.
If you've got a high enough casting ability, and the spell appears on your class spell list, you can cast it without having to use magic device.
Yeah.
Alchemists, if it appears on their formula, if it's a thing that they can possibly have as a formula, they can use a scroll, but not a wand.
Look, I'll carry them for now. If we need them, you know where to find them.
But yes, that's all you find going through the church. It looks like everything else that may have been of value has already been taken.
Quick look in the graveyard to make sure there's nothing disturbing there.
Yep. This is a quite small graveyard. There are 14 graves in total, which is pretty reasonably high for a village, but not like anything to worry about. One of them does look fairly fresh, as in recently dug, which the marker indicates someone called Andrisha the Potter died here, and it's dated several weeks ago, just before the date you're pretty sure everyone disappeared. but there's no sign of anyone tampering with the graves.
And is there any evidence at all of any specific things that might have been taken, like any documents in the church with an inventory, or like any distinctive sun bleach markings or anything that might give an indication as to something that was there and is now gone?
No, nothing specific. You do know that like churches like this will tend to have like various things in like silver, like candlesticks and maybe some like incense that has some value. But as I said, everything's been taken apart from like the prayer books and the pews.
Right. Well, unless this dead Potter is the cause behind all this, although
We
I
should keep it. We should
we
keep
should keep
moving
going.
on. What's this
You're
building
right.
here?
A15 is that? That is a barn. This barn has a wide door on the front and a smaller door on the side. The strong odor of barley and other grains wafts through the seams in the clapboard walls.
Barley.
Okay. I'm sure.
just- Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'd say, as we walk past here, I assume this looks like like an entrance to a mine or something.
Which one, sorry?
This one here.
The one that only half exists.
A11.
The one that best you to put in.
So that is, it's a house that looks like it's been dug into the base of the hill.
Mm.
Okay, so there's a house, not a mine. Okay.
So given Jin's background is he was a farmer before he became a soldier, can I have a look at the stuff in the barn to see how far off spoiling it is? Because that might help determine a timeline. Just so I can use one of my background abilities.
Sure, you can have a look through.
Cool. 28 on a craft form.
So you can tell even from a quick glance that this has been left for several weeks. And you catch the fact that there is the grain there is now infested with vermin.
Oh dear.
So the vermin haven't been affected by the whatever's dragged everything else off. That's interesting.
I mean, in general, if it at a certain period of time everything in this area disappeared, the vermin probably came in later when the cat, I assume, that was keeping it away.
Okay, but then why is it that people who have tried to go the other way have then also subsequently disappeared, or am I misunderstanding timelines here?
From what you can tell of like lining things up, everyone disappeared about the same time.
Okay, yeah, so they could have just shown up later.
Yeah.
It seems like a mass kidnapping.
It does mean this isn't a continuous effect. It does mean this has happened and then... Because otherwise, if things kept disappearing... Do you know what I'm talking about now? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, from your expert opinion as a former farmer, Jin, I would... the thought is you would not go in there without like poisoning the area thoroughly first.
Cool. Thank you for entertaining the background.
Like that's less than, get a cat level. That's like smoke the entire area out, wait a week, and then maybe you can use it.
Yeah.
Sounds like any alcohol made with that barley will have extra protein in.
It's definitely over the recommended percentage of vermin allowed in it.
Starts to reach hopefully for a bomb.
Let's not set the highly combustible barley and wheat on fire just yet.
Recommended
Pest
human
control.
dosage.
Look, if we need to lure something in there and then set it on fire, grand.
I can live with that.
Let's keep moving, shall we?
Yes, sir.
So going
This
through,
building-
all of the houses marked A2 are similarly farmhouses that appear to have been mostly left alone. This building here, the wooden walls of this house have been staved in at several locations, and the door has been battered down.
Oh no.
Well, this is the first time we've seen violence applied, other than the temple.
Hmm.
At what height has it been staved in? Is it like
Uh,
fairly low or like fairly high? Is it...
Hard to tell.
Do you want to take a look, Corio?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a. I'll have a little mooch around. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
Perception check as you go through.
I'm going to the back of the building in case anything tries to run out the back.
Okay, so from from context and looking through what few tools remain, this was a gem cutter's house. And from what you can see, Coriel, it looks like a large group of things have like just literally demolished the house to ransack it of everything of value.
Hmm.
The
Again,
fact that
no signs of bloodshed, but a lot of violence.
so it sounds like they came after the disappearance, but the fact that they knew to go for this house specifically and no one else's suggests a level of prior knowledge.
Either
I'm not
somebody who's cased the entire village, or somebody who was familiar.
I mean, we didn't really case the place. We had a look around and we identified that place as a gem cutter's house. I think it's probably more likely that a group of bandits turned up to an empty village, had a wander around and went, "Oh, I'll have that," or "I'll have that."
But why stave in the walls? Why not just...
Yeah. We know it's a gem cutter's house because someone's already broken into it.
Hmm.
So
And we can
it
see
looks
them
like from context clues, Coriel, it looks like basically they so you can see the tracks of humanoid footprints, some small, some large. And it looks like what they've basically done is like taken the house apart, trying to find things like hidden compartments or like secret stashes, which is why there's so much damage.
Okay. Let's just keep moving.
Time to follow the bird.
Okay, the bird, from what you saw, continued to fly like over and away.
Oh, okay.
But here, perched atop a low hill, this triangular fortification looms over the town. A palisade of sharpened stakes leaves enough gaps for archers within to fire out upon the surrounding hillsides. The southern corners of the fort each have twin watch platforms, and the northern corner is anchored by its solid-looking blockhouse of sturdy timbers. A thin column of smoke drifts upwards from a fire in the compound.
In this part or in like the building?
Inside the compound.
I would hazard a guess that could be the bandits.
I'd say so.
Quite possibly.
Everybody popped up.
Right. Now we go quietly.
Can I see this building from where we are? Can you see the?
Yeah.
Okay. There is every chance if we go into the compound and start being successful, they may try and escape. And if it was me, I would have a tunnel going from the compound to that building as an escape route. Just people have it in their mind as an option.
Hmm.
Okay, so are you trying to? There's not really anything in the way of cover up here, so approaching stealthily will be difficult, which seems to be intentional from the construction. Just to warn you.
Can we see, Corio? Is there any windows in the blockhouse? Can we?
Let me take a quick check.
So I can make one person invisible, and then we can cause mayhem and distraction while the rest of us run in the back.
I have an invisibility potion I can take.
Are the front gates open or are they closed?
They are shut.
I mean, if you want to give Coriel a visibility potion to go and get up to the building and have a look.
Coriel's got one. We have
Not
two
bad.
people invisible.
It's not a bad idea.
I mean, invisible gore also amuses me.
But is Gore quiet enough?
I mean, we could be loud enough to cover that if we need to, I suppose. But
I'll move you over to the blockhouse map, and then populate you so you can see what's going on.
Zoc has got some camo paint from somewhere. It's just like smearing it on.
I don't think camel paint's meant to be red. There's just rouge on it.
There you are.
It's in fact bright pink.
Zog, Felspar.
So it's like, well, I mean, camo paint doesn't really work on goblins, so I was just improvising, really.
Coriel. There you go.
Oh,
It's for the moral boost.
So as you approach, the gatehouse towers are composed of 15-foot tall sharpened stakes. A ladder accessible platform 10 feet above the ground stands against the two walls. A number of helmets are barely visible over the edge of the wall.
there's every chance that they're watching us coming up. We could just go in very fast and very loud. Coriel, you're the combat guys.
Coriel, those helmets, could you have a look and see, just from where you can see right now, are they moving or do we think they are on posts?
Can you give me a perception check as you look over? Yep. So as you're looking through Coriel, you see through the ruse pretty quickly that these are propped up helmets on the ends of what are probably sticks, in order to give the appearance of guards being posted.
In which case,
Run in and see what happens.
they probably haven't spotted us. Coriel, you're going to take your invisibility potion, go and take a look.
Yep, let's do it. I will chug my invisibility potion on and go have a recce.
Yep. The gate is closed, but it looks like the lock on it was smashed open.
How are your climbing skills?
Better than
Better middling. Does it look like the gate can be like nudged open slightly and slip through, or is it very much a thing of it would have to be opened entirely?
You should, given the damage, you could probably squeeze through. So like open it a bit and then squeeze through.
Yeah, I'll try that. Is that a stealth check?
Yeah, give me a stealth check to see how well you do it, avoiding noise.
Is that including my invisibility bonuses?
This is mostly about how much noise you make. So no.
Okay. Then I will throw an inspiration on that.
Okay.
That should not be. Oh, it is that high. Excellent.
Okay. You're able to slip through without making any obvious noise.
Okay.
So you managed to head your way over into the yard itself, or at least with a view to it. This yard is composed of churned mud and scraggly weeds. A well stands near the centre, while not far away is a large bonfire, with a spit holding a side of beef over it.
Okay.
And you can hopefully see in the yard of 5 large beasts.
Knowledge check to identify.
Yep.
Nature.
Yes, please.
I will do a investigative mind, and
These are giant wolverines. And you can see from their behavior that they are at least relatively tame.
I'm going to stay well clear of those because I imagine they can sniff me out fairly easily.
They do seem currently distracted by the bonfire and the meat on there, so they haven't noticed you yet. But yes, these guys do seem tame, but from where you are, you currently can't see any signs of humanoid life.
Other than the bonfire and the spit.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing where I am, I can see very much that the helmets are just like placed on top of sticks. Any obvious signs that any of these outbuildings is being used on the regular?
Let's see. So you can see from a quick check around that this building here is the smithy, which doesn't seem to be being actively used. And then this building over here by the fencing seems to be some kind of shed. And then this building you can just catch the outer edges of is a storehouse of some kind. And then the main block house is this building over here. There's a lot of recent tracks around the area suggesting that that is being used. And then as you're wandering closer, you do catch sight of a creature that seems to be overseeing the beasts.
Any idea what that might be?
But not being null.
This will be a knowledge planes check, I think.
I'm going to drop another investigative mind. Slightly better. I'll take a 20 for it.
This guy looks like a Spriggan. He was a kind of a variant of a gnome. So sort of related to the Fae. You'll know from your experience that Spriggans are able to change size. This one seems, as you'd expect, gnome-sized, but he doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on him and see what he does.
So he mostly seems, his attention seems to be focused at the moment on keeping the Wolverines away from the beef. Where it's like it's one of those things of like they're under his control, but only so long as he's actively there, stopping them from getting close. It's basically the equivalent of like having a barbecue with a dog nearby.
I'm going to risk getting a little bit closer. About here-ish. Do I need to do anything there, or?
Probably close enough that the Wolverines might risk smelling you. So, give me a base stealth check, so without the bonus.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Meanwhile, back at the party, he's like, did we give Coriol like a warning symbol or a sign to like let us know he's in trouble?
Running away and screaming.
Ah, the usual. Okay.
So any amount of noise, I suspect, is probably the answer, right?
Yeah.
As you creep closer, the Wolverine closest to you lifts its nose up, sniffs, and turns its attention your way.
I'm going to start running back towards the gate.
Okay.
You won't see him running if he's invisible though. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be awkward.
it starts to bark like it starts to bark loudly, and the Spriggan kind of looks up suddenly, grabs the Wolverine by the scruff to stop it from running. And then once it's started to settle back down again, we'll start to walk that way.
Someone's extremely entertained by the image that a gnome-sized creature is scruffing a giant animal, and that's working.
I'm going to try and squeeze back through the gate as quickly as possible.
Sure. So stealth check again for me, because now something's actively looking for you.
Mm-hmm. So that's just for moving through the gate, so no invisibility bonus on that one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's fine. You're able to squeeze through.
I will then proceed to leg it back to the party. Probably around about the time that the invisibility potion starts to wear off.
Yeah. There's no sign of alarm. It looks like from the gap in the fence you can see the Spring kind of looks out, hears a little bit, and then turns around and walks back.
Oh, Goriel, there you are.
Okay. So there's about 5 dire wolverines in there. Point at Mara and go, no.
Crucially not Zork.
Or his dwarf friend.
There's also at least one. I only saw the one Spriggan.
Yeah,
So it's
for
fake.
those of us, for those of us who have no idea what a Spriggan is.
Size changing, gnome adjacent Fey thing. It seems to be kind of like, for lack of a better way of putting it, the Hound Master for these Wolverines. I don't know if there are any others in there.
Hey, Jen, I think that Spriggan might be having some first world problems.
Yep, yeah. Thoughts, plans? Is it somebody that's just been opportunistic, or is it the culprit?
I don't know
Well-
enough beyond what I've seen.
Well, if he has enough intelligence to be roasting beef and handling hounds, it has enough intelligence to speak. We should. I think now is the point we kick open the door and Jin says hello.
We should make him sign over the rights to the puppers.
When it comes to negotiations, we'll get to that bit.
But we might as well try diplomacy at this stage. I see no harm in it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Are we playing?
It's possible.
Cool. Yeah, let's go. Jim will make his way up. Sort of mutter to the rest of us as I'm walking up. It's like, do we want to play this as silly old local lord, or do we want to actually be serious with this?
Let's be serious.
I say, how good are other people at deception?
Gore is going to make sure that his little amulet is very obviously on show.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm just going to do my very best to not look inherently sketchy.
I will use first world problems to knock on the door with. Just drawing out the mace and going, dum, dum, dum. Hello?
So you catch sight of basically a face west of you. So on the southwestern edge of the fort, as a large head peeks over the edge of it, and does anyone in the party speak Gnomish?
I don't want to instinctively turn to Mara, but
I do.
I think I might. Hang on.
The
Yes!
scared dwarf does.
Okay, so in Gnomish, the person over that way calls out and says, "Agai," which is a name. Agai, they're back. Seal the blockhouse. Get everyone inside.
I just yell back, "Oh, that's not very nice. We just wanted to talk."
what did they say?
Get everyone inside and seal the blockhouse. Apparently there's others.
As you could see several Spriggers start to head out into view, and all of them grow substantially larger.
I'm going to keep shouting in comments like, my name is Jin Thorngage. I am the lord of the neighboring area. I'm here to investigate the missing people. Do you know anything about that?
I'll start translating. just in case they don't speak common.
I just speak louder.
There's a,
Parlez-vous français?
you can see some signs of movement inside the blockhouse itself. The sound of like heavy wood moving. And then from one of the like arrow slits in the blockhouse itself, one of the Spriggans calls up and says, again in Gnomish, "What's the play?" And the call comes out, "Kill these idiots."
Okay,
Okay.
they're going
We're
hostile.
off then.
Yep. Let's get the list up and reset it. And roll initiative, please.
Not friendly.
So,
Well, we tried.
Oh. I do have a plan.
you guys
It's possibly not a very good plan, but
Does it involve bombs?
it does! It also involves a flying potion and the chimney of the blockhouse that most of them have just shut themselves inside.
Can't be war crimes if there's nobody there to report them.
They started it.
We're not technically at war with them. It's not been officially declared, so it's only just crimes.
Oh, fair. Yeah, okay. I will. Look, somebody needs to be in charge of the legal matters in this new kingdom.
Zog, you are first to act.
Well, I mean, it would be rude not to immediately just see what's going on in here. Oh boy, they are big. Ooh, and there's way more Wolverines than I thought there would be. Ooh, they probably can't walk out of here. I'll take a half defense. That'll be me.
Royale.
I've learned my lessons.
Okay. First and foremost, I'm going to quaff a cat's grace and give myself a dexterity boost. That is probably the smart play. And then make sure I'm ready by Jin with rapier drawn, buckler prepped.
Yep, I misread a section of it, so these two aren't here yet.
So that'll be my turn.
Okay. So, the Wolverines are first to act, and they are sicked.
Oh no.
And they start rushing down
Oh, the
towards
poor
you.
things. They're sick as well.
Where's your speed? They all start to rush down. And I'll say, Jin, give me a reflex save as the Wolverine starts to basically smashes the gate in your direction.
I think that's reflex roll as a reflex save.
Yeah.
I think this is the right button. That's just reflex, is it?
Yeah, you're able to raise your shield in time and like splinters of the gate peck forward into the shield. But the gate is smashed down at this stage. Over to this guy. So that's cool. So these guys are all wielding flails.
My only concern is they're now big enough to climb over the walls.
Hopefully they're
Start
not
taking
sensible enough to do that.
25, 10, 50. Mara, it is your turn.
Hello,
Mara,
yes.
look, they're conveniently grouped.
There is indeed a convenient target-rich environment.
Shrink.
So
So
yes,
it fits.
yeah. I am going to use the infused weapon to basically make a slingshot shot bomb and fire it directly at the Spriggan in the middle.
Okie doke.
Actually, no. Sorry. First, I am going to retrieve my mutagen from the loaded spring sheath. And because I have the accelerated drinker trait, I can chug that as a move action instead of a main action. Then I'm going to shoot him. Because that gives me bonuses to my thingamawhatsup. Sorry, I have to do the changes on the sheet now. Cool. And then I shoot him.
Okie doke.
Oh, and that's probably still not going to hit.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
My rolls don't like me. And tragically, because it's infused into a piece of ammunition, it doesn't explode on. It doesn't sort of still do splash damage. It does splash damage if it hits, but if it misses, it doesn't explode on contact.
Unfortunate.
So I'm down a bomb and 0 successes. And I will sulk.
Jin, it's your turn. There's an
Oh.
angry Wolverine in front of you.
Cool. I would like to cast Mighty Strength on myself.
You will need to cast defensively if you don't want to get attacked of opportunity.
Sure. I think I have some sort of feat that helps with that.
Yep, it's a concentration check. 15 plus double the spell level is the DC.
Double spell level. Level 4, so 8 plus 15 is 23. Sorry, what was the roll for that again?
Concentration. It should just be in your spellcasting section.
Yeah.
Just click it, it should roll it.
Yes. Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not enough. You lose the spell slot.
Ooh.
Sad to say. Would you like to move at all?
No, I'd rather be here as a in the way.
Yep.
Of the slightly more restrictive.
Sorry, go on, Stuart.
I said I'd rather be here in the way of the squishier people than behind me. So
Sure. Felspar.
Felspar will move to there in a slightly scared state and just pat Zoc on the back to give him war blessing. Zoc is being the emotional support goblin, and that's it.
Okay. And go.
In New Shocking Nobody, I wish to enter a rage.
You succeed. Congratulations.
Ah, good out, right. 16 temporary hit points. Right. AC drops like that, but that's fine. Right. Gore move up to here,
Mhm.
and I am going to attack this Wolverine that's in front of me.
Okie doke.
Just the one attack. 22 to hit for 19 slashing damage.
That is a solid hit that injures it.
And then I'll bite it. 30 to hit for 6 damage.
That's enough to bloody the Wolverine.
Cool. That is my turn, I think.
As you hit the Wolverine, it gets really mad.
Good.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And you see it enters into a rage of its own.
Oh,
That Wolverine, it's pretending to be Gore.
I want one.
Oh, it is your turn.
You'll get on so well.
Well, now there's an angry half-orc in front of me, and that's unfortunate.
There's
I guess
space
I'll
here.
have to move. Yeah, but that means I can't full attack.
think-
Right, I'll move and I'll do the full stab, as it's known. Well, does a 35 confirm?
That is a dead Wolverine.
Well, that's all I can do.
Made the
Zop
kill
out.
box. We've made the kill box.
But it died so mad.
Coriel.
Is it easy to get through the gates?
It is now, yes. The Wolverine smashed the gate down.
Okay. Gonna risk it. I'm gonna head for this spot here, and I'm gonna study this Wolverine. And actually, no. Gonna stay where I am, and I'm going to drink my Paragon Surge extract, boost my intelligence, and give myself a feat, which I meet the prereqs for, which is vital strike, and then I will start going full hand next round. And that is my turn.
Okay. So one of the Wolverines is going to rush forward to take its fallen comrade's place. And it's going to attempt to bite Gore.
I would.
That's how they communicate.
Does a 16 hit you, Gore?
Right now, because I'm raging, yes.
Okay. So that is 6 slashing damage. Or piercing damage, I should say, sorry.
Down to 5.
And the other ones rush over and climb up and over the walls.
I am in danger.
So this one's going to end up here and attempt to bite Coriel. For a 19 to hit.
I don't think that is good enough. Yeah, that's a no.
And the other one's going to go for Felspar, which will miss. Okay. So he's going to move over to here, and then whoop, whoop, whoop. They both seem to move up and start readying their flails. Just kind of lazily swinging them around.
Like a gangster.
You
with
do
such
notice from
blades.
here that they seem not like weakened, but visibly uncomfortable being in daylight.
I
Mara.
feel that.
Cool. I'm firing another shot specifically at this lower corner of this. Can't tell if that's a Wolverine or a Spriggan from here, but
Certainly one of them.
I can just see the bottom edge, because that will then get everyone in my 10-foot, all of the bad uns in my 10-foot splash. It'll be really funny. Let's see if we can actually hit this time. I'm going to assume yes.
That is a hit.
Excellent. That's 17 fire damage to this guy, and they are now on fire, and 7 fire damage to everyone within 10 feet of them,
Okie doke. So,
which I believe is this one, and this one.
yes. So both Wolverines fly into a rage and focus their attention exclusively on you, Mara.
Cool. I would then like to pull out my infusion of fly, which I had prepared earlier, and I tragically can't drink it this round because I didn't start the turn with it in my hand. But I would like to have that ready. Yeah. I may have made poor decisions today. Help.
Okay, Jin, it is your turn.
So, rules question: if I step away from the Wolverine and it attacks me and damages me, can I still make a spell after that?
So yes, what you can do is you can 5-foot step away, which would not trigger an attack of opportunity, and then cast a spell freely.
But I can't move again after that.
No. Or you can just take an attack of opportunity, and if you take damage, you have to make a concentration check to keep the spell. Or you can cast defensively.
Which means
Those
make
are your
me
main
roll.
3 options.
So basically, what I want to do is step away, cast the spell, and then probably step back in again. So I want to do. I'll probably have to risk the attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
I will step to here.
Well, you can do it from where you are. You'll just take the attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So it is a 25 to hit you.
That'll hit.
4. It swipes a claw at you. You take 6 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then it should be concentration. Just make a concentration check for me. I'll double check what the DC is. The DC is 10 plus the damage you were dealt plus the spell level.
Oh, so I can't step away, cast a spell out of.
You could step away and cast the spell, but you won't be able to move back in the same turn.
You can only make one move action during a turn. You can't break it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
So
I can
your
step away,
options are-
cast a spell, and not worry about going back in again. But I don't have to take the concentration check.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'll do then. I'll step away.
So you don't take damage in that case because you wouldn't have gotten hit. So you step away and can cast the spell.
Okay, cool. I'll cast as much as I want to cast Mighty Strength. I will cast Archon to Aura and make them make checks. So that is.
So that's will saves from them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 2 on the outside are affected. The 2 on the inside are affected. And the Spriggan is also affected.
Cool. they can enjoy their -2 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws, and to their
Yeah.
armor class.
Felspar.
Felspar will use a point of fervor to swift action cast shield on themselves, and then will headbutt the Wolverine.
Nothing could go wrong.
Bam! 19 to hit.
A solid hit that sends the Wolverine into a rage.
Yeah! Helping.
Gore.
I would like to full round attack that Wolverine.
Hmm.
A 22 for 22 and a 25 for 26.
The second slash kills it.
I don't have a move action because I full round attacked.
You can 5-foot step if you would like.
No, I'm actually quite happy here.
Okay.
I'm quite happy here. I'll knock off with a rage.
Zuck.
That's my turn done.
I guess I will full round attack, but I can 5-foot step beforehand, so I'll just go have a go at this Wolverine.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. So 19 and 34 is 53 damage.
That will kill it with the second strike.
Ooh.
That's me. I'm sorry, Coriel. I'm in your way.
Fine.
Speak of the devil.
More
Okay.
Wolverines.
I'm going to study this Spriggan.
Mhm.
And I'm going to attempt a Vital Strike attack against them, not with an additional D4 fire damage. That'd be silly.
Okay, got their AC.
And let's go.
Wow.
That crit confirms.
I'm glad you already needed the Archon Tower to help with these.
He is on the brink of bloodied.
Okay.
Oh, they are tough.
Any more for any more?
That's my turn because it's move like that was swift move and standard.
So this Wolverine's going to step forward and full attack Coriel.
Mistakes are made.
First, it's going to take some fire damage because it is still on fire.
Yep, roll that for me while I go through.
Was it affected by the aura?
It is, yes.
Cool.
Which does.
It's -2 to get saves as well.
Yeah, it cancels out the bonus it gets from being in a rage, which is helpful. For 20 and 16 to hit.
Nope.
2 fire damage. I love my rolls.
Cool. Yeah, it aims 2 hearty swipes towards you, but you're able to duck underneath them. This one's going to go for Felspar. Say 24 to hit him.
That will miss.
That'd be
I'm
22
actually
as
sorry.
well.
Yes. Yeah, they get a +2 bonus from being in a rage, so it
okay.
cancels out, thankfully. And then Spriggans. This one is just going to book it. And then the other one swears loudly in Gnomish. Shakes shakes a fist in their direction, and then
Turns to
swings
Mire to hear what they said.
very rude things about their mother.
So we've got a soundboard to this now.
And then swing the flail over at Coriel. Oop, let's see if that confirms.
My bones.
Does a 20 confirm the crit?
No.
That'd be an
Okay.
18 as well. If it's a sprig.
Yes, you're right. So just regular damage. So this is 1d. So you take 18 bludgeoning damage. And are you vulnerable to sneak attack?
I am, but am I being flanked?
Is it specifically flanked that triggers sneak attack?
Flanked or flat-footed?
Okay. Then just 18 bludgeoning damage from the flail.
My bones. Jesus.
You need those.
And Mara.
I would like to yell back in Gnomish some extremely rude implications about their mother and what she may or may not have done with the pack of Wolverines last night. And then I would like to throw another bomb at them. It doesn't look like I'm going to need the potion of flying just yet, but I'm going to keep it on hand.
Spriggers can't sneak attack while they're large. My mistake.
Nice.
Okay, give me the roll.
That's more like it.
A solid hit.
Yeah, so that's one for the one straight ahead of me, and splash damage for the one next to him.
Reflex
And
save.
Gore and Corey will get fire belly for a round, which they will almost certainly not use because their own damage is way better.
I remember the times with the entire party casting Fire Belly was the strategy. The good old days.
Starting to look badly injured, this brigand.
Cool. And again, is now also on fire.
I'll just mark him red. Okay, Jin.
Cool. I will cast Cure Light Wounds on Coriel. So that is 1d8 plus 8 plus 50% because of Healer's Blessing. So,
Yep. It's touch range, so you do have to get to here, but
I don't because I have a feat that lets me cast it. I have a feat where it increases the range of spells.
Have you prepared the spell with reach?
I did not know I had to.
For this
Then
time, I'm fine.
I'll walk up and cast it on if you want.
Yeah, there's no danger to it. Just
okay.
It's a touch range spell by default.
So that's 9 plus 50% of that is another 4, I presume.
Yeah.
That's 13.
Okie doke. And Felspar.
Felspar will use his best attempt at handle animal, which in this case is headbutting it.
I was about to say, it would not go well.
I mean, Felspar's handle animals skill is -2, so this is it.
Okay, and Gore.
I'm going to go rescue Felspar. I'm going to take a 5-foot step to here.
Yep.
And then full round attack that Wolverine. A 20 is 17, 22 for 26.
17, that leaves it injured, and then 26 leaves it badly injured.
And then I'll bite it. For 5 extra damage.
Okay. It is very badly hurt, but still clinging on.
Cool.
over to Zuck.
Well, I mean, it would be rude if there is a Wolverine attacking one of my friends not to go and help them. So I will help out Coriel, as he seems to be surrounded right now. Especially if I stab him in the back. No. I will attack the Wolverine.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
That
I'm
kills the
19
Wolverine.
damage. So it gives a thumbs up.
Okay,
That's us.
Coriel.
I'm going to drop another studied strike into, not a vital strike into this guy. And does that hit?
It is a hit, yes.
I will drop my studied strike into it as well.
Almost kills him. It's very close. He is also, however, on fire, so the fire might finish him off.
In that case, I'm going to try and move away. To about there, because I think half my movement speed can get me there.
Okay, does that trigger an attack of opportunity from him?
I've moved around inside his threat. I'm guessing he's got a very large threatened area.
Yes.
So I have probably triggered an attack of opportunity, but I'm going to try and acrobatics it.
Yep, give me the check. That's enough to get past.
Cool.
The Wolverine is going to full attack on Felspar. It is determined to go down fighting. So it's going to bite and then claw twice. Bite, claw, claw.
Was it affected by the aura? Yeah.
Yeah, it's cancelled out by the rage.
Cool. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Clank, clank, clank.
Like, that aura has saved Felspar a lot.
And Mara, can you roll your d6 for me, please?
Yep. Come on, roll high. Come on. Yay!
So the Spriggan starts to try and pat out the fire that's on him, and you see here his limbs grow and shrink to strange proportions as he's starting to lose control of his abilities. And then he shrinks down to gnome size as the fire finishes him off.
I should feel bad about that, shouldn't I? But they were trying to kill us.
You had to prove which one of us is the superior small race.
Yeah, clearly halflings.
The other one
Halflings are not on fire. It's true.
breaks to small. Looks over at the blockhouse and then just jumps into the well. Okay, Mura, there's an angry Wolverine outside.
Cool. Tragically, I haven't pre-prepared the best potion for this, but we'll work with what we've got. I'd like to pull from my other spring sheath the potion of alter self. Chug that, so in exactly the same way as the Spriggan, I grow a size larger. And then in my best angry Spriggan gnome voice, I would like to yell at the Wolverine. Get down! Sit!
I will give you a chance to animal handling this one. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'm not expecting this to work, don't get me wrong. Especially considering that I'm rolling this with a -1 modifier.
Wait. Can I cast
Really
guidance as a reaction?
No.
Oh,
This is all Mara.
But it would be really funny if it crit, is all I'm saying.
It does have -2 to its saving throw if it has to save against this.
That is indeed a crit for a 19. I suspect that's still not enough given the mod, but
You know what? Given the effort that you went to, I'm willing to allow it.
yes.
The Wolverine, which up until this point had part of Felspar's head in its mouth, lets out a whine.
that.
Spits out the section of helmet and backs off, like visibly backs away.
This is the one that was like moments away from being killed, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Nobody kills my pupper.
It doesn't. It at least at the immediate moment doesn't seem to be hostile as it backs down. Jin, anything you'd like to do?
Cool. I would now like to cast Mighty Strength on myself, assuming I'm not in combat with anything around the corner.
Yep.
And then I will move up to stand next to Coriel as quick as I can. 5, 10, 50, there. Just boosting my strength and increase my speed.
In fact, Coriel, give me a perception check as you come up to where you are.
Sure.
Yeah, that's easily enough to see that you can see loaded crossbows lined up at the arrow slits of the blockhouse.
Right.
So you can see they don't have an angle on you yet, but they are clearly alarmed and waiting. Okay, Felspar.
Felspar is both confused and amused at the situation, so we'll just take the withdraw action and let Mara do whatever Mara wants. That's it.
And Gore.
5, 10, 15, 20, 5. We think the entrance is somewhere over here, right?
Yeah, that's where the blockhouse is.
Cool. 30. I'll make my action to be a run.
Do you need an extra move? Because running implies a lot more speed and a lot less defense.
Yeah, moving twice or dashing. Basically.
Moving twice, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20. Cool, that'll do for me.
Cool. You see that this is the smithy where the forge and anvil have sat unused.
Cool. I will maintain my rage.
Okay. And Zuck, anything you'd like to do?
Well, I can't leave my general to do things by themselves. That's a lot of potential crossbows.
I figured someone wearing a lot more armor than I am could get shot a lot.
I mean, I've used the war blessing to gain a dodge bonus, so I can. You know what? I'm just gonna go up here.
My hero.
I'm full sword lord. I'm gonna ask for their surrender.
This is what I like to see out of my lieutenants, Felswell.
Promotion. You
Good
two
job,
can be
Elsie.
promoted. In Gore's army, you two can be promoted to lieutenant in a day.
Or the only rule is you've got to have more AC than I do and be willing to stand in front.
Would you like the good news or the bad news, Doc?
Let's go with the good news.
The good news is you get a response. The bad news is it's 5 crossbow bolts.
Holy Well, natural
and then-
20s automatically hit, so
So that's a 21 and 20 to confirm those 2 crits.
well, luckily that does not confirm.
So that is how many hits exactly? So 2 for the crits.
Just 2. They can only hit me if you roll a natural 20.
Okay. And
The
then,
25 doesn't hit you.
Not when I've got my mutagen on.
Noted.
so that is.
Good job, Lieutenant Pincushion.
He died doing what he loved.
He's not dying. He's still going.
That is 16 piercing damage from the 2 shots.
Ow. So turns around with like two arrows embedded, 2 bolts embedded in it. It's like, I don't think they're accepting surrender.
And then you hear the sounds of them reloading the crossbows.
I also think they have more bolts.
Coriel, anything you'd like to do?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to move to. Yeah, try and get to a place that's going to be tricky to shoot at. So I'm going to move to about here. And that is pretty much double move. Is there anything I can...
Give me a perception check as you get that close. That is enough to see that there is a trap set up just outside the front entrance.
Cool.
It looks like something being covered by like a covering of tarp.
I'll give the sign back to anybody that can see me that we've got the doorway's trapped.
Okay. The Wolverine is going to try and run away, as it is badly hurt.
Recall training is very important for. So from your vantage, Coriel, you can hear the Wolverine running past and whining.
Something tells me Mittu is not willing to let us keep a pet Wolverine. Cry.
Pet dire Wolverine. We don't know Mitsu's feelings on regular Wolverines yet.
Zark, you're taking a second volley.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm guessing all of those miss.
They do, yes.
So the area around you is peppered with bolts.
Good job, LT.
As they reload again, and then you hear from inside in Gnomish shouting, "Get the rocks!"
Oh,
Rocks with a K, right?
Hard to say.
Oh no.
Where would they be hiding multiple rocks?
I was going to say, a rock is bigger than that building. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
They've already proven that they can make themselves like larger and smaller. That doesn't mean they can't do that to other things.
Maria, unfortunately, you were able to get it to back down, but not enough to keep it there.
Yeah, that's fair. So in that case, because I've started the turn with my flying potion in hand, I can chug that now. This grants me a 60-foot flying speed. And I am going forwards, but also up, so I'm hoping I'm not within, like, angle of the slit windows. And I will go
As long
to
as
there.
as long as you're the same height of the forge or lower, you'll be out of sight. It looks like it's the top floor of the blockhouse that has the arrow slits on them.
Cool.
So let's start busting out the trigonometry.
Has anybody got a projector?
So basically, while I can take the potion as a move action, in this case, I will choose to take it as a standard action instead, so I can use my move action to do that, and that is sadly the end of my turn.
Yeah. So Zark and Coriel, from where you are, you heard the splash as one of the spriggans fell in, and then you hear the sounds of like disturbed water, and then after a while the water settles again.
That's probably fine.
Jin, what would you like to do?
Cool. I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I will begin chanting a prayer to Pharasma, which gives all my allies a +1 luck bonus on attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, saves, and skill checks. It is an aura of 40 feet, and all my foes get a -1 to attack rolls, damage rolls, saves, and skill checks while within the aura. I will put that aura up now.
Your prayer does cast. It doesn't reach high enough to reach.
I know
reach the
this is
people in the arrow slits.
this is future planning.
Yep. And to make you aware, you are aware you're in range.
Yeah. I'm also being loud and vocal, and
Just so you know.
yeah.
Felspar, what would you like to do?
Felspar will double move to here, the inevitable point where Jin gets filled with bolts. That's it.
And Gore.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So, I heard trap on front of door.
Mhm.
Can I hit door from this position?
I will say that you're pretty sure from how the door is constructed that trying to batter it down, especially with just a great axe, is probably not going to be the way to get through it.
Is it a big metal door or is it a?
It's a strong wooden door. So it's one of those ones where it's like you could break through it with an axe. It would just take you in the realm of like at least like half an hour. You could break through it with enough like force, but like chopping through it is going to take a long time, if that makes sense.
Can I make that determination as I'm running at it?
Yes.
Cool. I would like to change my plan from a run to hit it with axe to run to hit it with me.
Okay.
I'm glad we are having these seminars on group tactics.
So Gore battering ram would like to make a charge. Would like to make a charge. Battering ram attack.
The first thing you're going to need to make is a reflex save.
Absolutely, and I got
As
loads
the
of
ground
bonuses.
gives away from underneath you.
You'll get +1 luck from the aura as well.
Yep.
So +1 from luck, +2 from trap sense. And then the thing that boosts It's fine. It's fine. Just roll this.
If he hits it fast enough,
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
I just rolled a
Oh, no.
1. That's hilarious. I'm letting that stand. That's funny.
I'm just trying to see if I can find the stats. There you are. So, Gore, you rush towards the door, bravely and heedlessly, and the ground gives way from underneath you as you step on a tarp that has no floor underneath it.
Cool. I'll find my way through the dungeon. I'll see you in a bit.
You fall down 20 feet,
Oh, nothing.
and hit the spikes at the bottom of it.
That'll hurt.
The fragile spikes that break underneath his weight, right?
And as you crit failed this check, it hurts a lot.
Mm.
Don't worry, you
So,
have DR1.
I do have DR1. It's true.
That will help.
so you take 5 bludgeoning damage from just the fall.
So, is he trapped going to make an attack against me?
No. This is not like dart spikes. This is just you fall on top of spikes.
Okay, so how much damage, sorry?
If anything, you're attacking the spikes.
So 5 bludgeoning damage and 44 piercing damage.
Okay. Cool. So 44 piercing damage. Let's knock that off down to 33. And then it becomes 38 because of the plus 5 comes down to 37 because of damage reduction 1. You alright? You alright?
You good, buddy?
I'm fine. I got rid of the trap.
It's weird because when you fell in that hole, I saw a fountain of blood come from it, and yet you're still conscious.
Everything's fine. I would like
Also
to
take-
maintain my rage.
You also take 11 points of damage as you start heavily bleeding.
Buddy?
Is that a condition?
Yes.
Mm. Do you want to continue onwards? I'm sure I do something against this. I'm just going to do some reading.
Yeah. So just to describe, you're at the bottom of a 20-foot pit, and the walls are basically dotted with several spikes.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, you just hit most of them as you went down.
Cool. So they're broken, right?
I was gonna say he hit only most of them.
All conditions bleed.
Suck.
Well, I'm glad Gore did that because I was gonna do that, and I would be dead. I mean, I guess I channel my inner Ewan McGregor as a goblin and will move to here, and I will make a intimidate check so that I can do the thing from episode 1 where he's just parrying all of the shots to him. That's it. I just.
Can anybody else hear Hans Zimmer?
So you mean John Williams?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I do get a bonus to that. It's still not enough to be intimidating.
No.
Oh well.
Is it so unintimidating? It's actually like a either.
The Spriggans are too busy laughing at Gore to notice.
Perfect. The planet's going without a hitch. Is it bloodied when you're under half hit points?
Yes.
Cool. I am bloodied and not wounded.
Wow.
You are both bloodied and bleeding.
I am bleeding. That is true.
Coriel.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. You will stop bleeding once you basically either get some healing of some kind, either magical or mundane.
Jen! Help!
Time to shine.
It's all right. You just wait till next term when I go. I get my climber's kit out and I grappling hook my way out the pit.
Did Gore fall into the pit like a thong?
Corral, Gore fell into the trap that you pointed out. What would you like to do?
Use his head as a stepping stone.
How, so he fell about 20 foot, so I can't even use
Yeah.
him as a stepping stone.
What if I hold my hands up like this?
I'm going to go and attempt to jump over the pit and into the. Is the door still closed?
Yes. It is closed and from what you've gathered, barred.
Can you chuck anything in that'll make them want to come out?
No.
I see that smile, Mara.
If only we had some kind of professional arsonist on our team.
All I'm saying is, house is made of wood. Sturdy wood, but wood.
I'm gonna.
Can you run up and fire breath through a window?
I think the windows are the second story.
Yeah, they're arrow slits, so it's going to be very difficult. You said that this building to my right is the smithy.
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to run into the smithy and see if there's anything like ropes or chains available.
We don't have time for that.
The main feature of the smithy is an anvil.
Okay. So no ropes or chains visible.
Not from what you can see, no.
Gore probably has some rope.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have any. Going to run back to about here and just sort of shout towards the hole, like, "Gore, do you have rope?" And that's pretty much what I can do with my turn.
Gore, you can chat up if you like.
Yes. Squirt, squirt.
Okay. So, just checking the time. Sadly, we're not going to have time to do a break and then end at 3:30. So we'll just have to suffer through for a little bit and then get food. So I apologise. That's just the way we'll have to do it.
This is fair.
That's alright.
So we're going to have 2 crossbow bolts firing out at Jin.
They'll need a 19.
Pew!
Yeah, that. Or that.
They do not confirm the crit, and then the second shot will miss.
Cool.
So that is... that is 11 points of piercing damage at you.
Okay.
The other 3 shots are going towards Sock. Pew, pew, pew. And that's them done. They're quite content to pep you with crossbow bolts from inside. Mara.
I'm about to ruin some days. I would like to fly. I can't see exactly where I'm going because I am currently behind a
Yeah.
wall, but that will not be an issue from elevation perspective. I would like to get as close to directly above the blockhouse as I can with my 60 foot of flying speed.
Okay.
I don't know how this is going to work from a map perspective. I'm just going to drop myself here for now.
So basically flying up will take some of your flight
Okay.
speed.
Cool. So it'll probably be more like here. Or I don't know. Where would I be?
That sounds about right. Are you wanting to be in the air?
Yes.
And if so, how high?
High enough that I am at least level with the roof.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, so you can just about see from inside the two Spriggans who are manning the arrow slits from here.
Fantastic.
One
no,
at the other end, they both point at you.
I would like to specifically be above.
Yep. Okay.
Not level with the slits, with just above the ceiling of the building.
Okay. Yep.
Fantastic. And then I would like to lob shot a bomb down the chimney. I'm assuming it has one because there was one on the original map.
Don't know if the blockhouse itself has one. Is the only issue.
No.
Entries. Bunkhouse.
The real question is, can you thread the needle and get it in through the arrow slit?
The target's about 2 feet across. But the size of a womp rat.
Use the alchemy, Mara.
There is a kitchen on the top floor, so I assume there is a chimney to allow smoke to get out.
Glorious. I would like to lob shot a bomb down the chimney.
And more importantly, for Saturday again.
It's a tricky shot, but you can try.
Heck yes.
Yeah, +1 left to this.
Trust the force.
Nice. Come on, roll high. It'll be really funny. Oh, that's only a dirty 20. I don't think that's going to do it.
That's just enough in my my head maths for it to. So it kind of strikes on the edge of the chimney, and you think it's gonna crack, but it just rolls and falls down.
Glorious. Also, I'm not expecting to do any direct target damage, but I am hoping that this will get them with the splash.
It'll be about here. You hear a muffled crash of glass and whoosh, but no signs of immediate pain that would indicate anything got hit.
Ah, darn it. Oh well, I can live with that.
Jin, it's your turn.
Cool. I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, up to the walls. I'm pretty much tight against it. So if anybody has to shoot, they're going to shoot straight down. And then I will use my channel energy to heal folks within 30 feet of me, choosing to heal just my allies. I'm assuming I don't add my healer's blessing 50% to this because it's not a cure spell.
No.
Cool, that's fine.
Just whatever you roll.
Whatever I roll should be 46. 12 healing to everybody within 30 feet.
Gore, you stop bleeding.
Gore, you good?
I am no longer bloodied.
You good though, right?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Felspar.
Felspar looks at the door, thinks for a moment, and goes, "Breach and clear!" and casts Shatter on the door.
Ooh, spicy.
Good job, Gore's in the foxhole.
I've looked up the description of Shatter, and it just says it breaks non-magical objects when it's targeting a single one.
But Gore's a non-magical object.
I think you'll find I'm incredibly magical.
If you don't use the AoE version, you just target a single object, it just breaks it. Shatter is weird.
Non-magical object.
So in 3.5, I have a character with at will shatter, and it is pretty much reserved for locks.
Locks and small fabricated eggs, right?
Yes.
Sunder's a single solid non-magical object. Let's see what Sunder says. Sunder. I'm gonna say you hear the crack of wood from behind the door. So the door itself has remained intact, but you think you've cracked something behind it.
Perfect. Felspar gives a thumbs up to no one's looking at Felspar right now.
Actually, I mean, to be fair, Jim probably has his back to the wall and is looking back into the courtyard, so, like... Although, as soon as you said bridge and clear... As soon as you said bridge and clear, Jim probably immediately did this out of reflex.
Gore, you are no longer bleeding, so you don't take any additional damage.
I would like to climb out my pit.
Okay.
Using my
out.
climbers kit if it's useful.
Climber's kit probably will be. Let's have a look.
Now, not to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure when you're raging, you can't do anything which requires patience.
He's gonna angry his name out of the pit.
No, I can use my rage to help me climb. I'm just digging in.
Yeah, give me a climb check. We'll see how well it goes
Climb
for you.
Alright. Climbing. Where is my skills? Climbing.
Please do not roll another natural one. I don't want to see you fall back in the pit.
I rolled really badly. That was a 2.
So that's a 15 with your climber's kit. So you make headway, but you do scrape against one of the spikes as you're climbing up.
Okay.
For 2 points of piercing damage.
I take 1.
You're about halfway up at this point.
Cool.
Suck.
We're going Nakatomi Plaza with this.
Gore, why are you wearing a
Zoc
vest?
will, Zoc will just run forward and attempt to push the door open, probably from the side. Let's let people see Gore's beautiful face.
It's going to be tricky to open the door from that angle. Is my only thought.
Right, I'm now 10 foot up, so I'm now almost a stepping stone.
I mean, Zoc's happy to just like be in that area, like tiptoeing around.
You could try and rush it.
Oh, I do like rushing things. Woo!
Give me an athletics check, I think. Because you're trying to shoulder barge the door.
Can I? That would be CMB, right?
Yeah, I'll allow that as like a bull rush.
I am definitely good at 15.
That's enough to like you hit the door hard, and you feel the bar that was holding it closed give from the damage that Felspar did to it, and you crash through and head out on the other side.
Yay!
Let's.
Oh shit!
There's a sprig in there.
So it's like, I have come to accept your surrender. I can't speak Gnomish. Damn.
This spriggan looks down at you and then just whirls the flail.
Are they in any of my auras? Because they should be in Prayer and Archon's aura if they're standing close enough.
Prayer's just a one-off, but the Archon's aura it will be. +4. Yes, is affected by your aura. Coriel.
I'm going to try and leap across that gap as well.
Yep, at this stage you can just jump through.
Or do I need to acrobatics it? Or
No, it's an easy jump
okay.
now that the door's been broken down. So you can jump into Sock's space and then move next to him without provoking an attack.
I will study that Spriggan after I parkour my way over. And I will attempt a vital strike.
That crit does confirm.
Cool.
So that is 26 damage. And we're going to have, as we go over to the Spriggan's turn, so 2 of the Spriggans are in range to attack Mara with bolts.
Oh no.
First one's a 17 and a 16
No.
to hit.
No.
Okay. Crossbows whiz past you. One's going to drop a rock on Gore from the murder hole.
Perfect. It's a ranged
Calling
attack.
this Gore's bad day.
So 17 to hit you, Gore.
It misses because my +2 AC against ranged attacks.
Yep, a rock tumbles just past you and skitters down into the hole.
Thank you, Fey Lady.
The one down here is going to swing their flail at Coriel.
I would like to parry.
Okie doke.
That's something I can do, and I occasionally forget I can do.
He'll swing at you. A 16, I assume, misses.
Yeah, but I was parrying, so
Yeah.
That is... Four, and
That is a hit against him, if that's relevant.
yeah, I'm going to then spend another point of my panache to riposte. Does 27 hit?
Yes, it does.
That's 11 points of damage.
He calls out upwards in Gnomish and saying, I got they've broken through, they're in. And I'm gonna zip through this round, and then at the start of the next round, which would be Zock's turn, we will wrap things up for this month. So
Cool.
Mara,
Okay. So I have a series of questions.
go ahead.
First question: what is the roof made of?
Good question. Probably some kind of slate, if I had to guess.
Boo. Second question: how big is the chimney?
Big enough for you to fit through.
Glorious. I will take that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I would like to get so that I'm directly above said chimney.
Yep.
And I'm going to drop something else down the chimney. It is not a bomb. It is my my bottle of aerosolized tatzelworm poison.
Good choice.
So I drop that down the chimney. I'm assuming it shatters.
Yep.
And then I would like everyone in the room to make me fortitude saving throws as they presumably breathe in the vapors.
What's the radius of it?
I don't know. You never told me.
Oh no.
That's your call, mate. I was working on the assumption that in an enclosed space it fills the room, but it
That
could be
makes me think-
otherwise. I don't know.
That makes me think that the radius is the entire planet, and therefore you've just killed everyone.
You see the vapor seep into the room. I'm going to say at the next round it'll start spreading out a little bit, but from all indications, the room you've dropped the poison into is empty.
Ah, shit. Would I have known that before I dropped it?
From your bomb not causing anyone to yell out in pain, yes.
Oh. In that case, can I retcon that? Because I wouldn't have done it if the room was empty.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Sorry. Just for future reference for when we inevitably come back to this a month later and forget. In that case, could I instead go down the chimney myself?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm going to move you over to where you end up.
Aha. Are these people aware of my presence?
Yes.
Shit.
This chamber is a cluttered kitchen. Crates and boxes are stacked in the western portion, while the main area has been converted into a bedroom.
Great. I would like.
In fact, I will. They've known you flew up. You can make a stealth check as you fly down to see if they notice you coming in.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, sure thing.
I like not dying, thanks.
Santa? Oh no, not Santa.
Come on. That's a 30.
So that's 1. Okay. So they. You can see them pointing up and like asking variations of like where did she go, and looking around, but they don't seem to have noticed you immediately.
Cool. In that case, I would like to hide and
Absolutely.
wait for my friends. And wait for my friends to come upstairs so I can jump out at them from behind, because that's funny.
I'll let you keep that 30 for the check. That's fine.
Cool.
Jen.
Yes, and thus endeth the turn.
Cool. I am going to move over and do my best to help Gore get out of the pit so they're not starting the next turn climbing out of the pit.
Sure. Yeah.
Would you like me to roll anything?
No, it'll just make Gore's check easier. I think that's the
Okay.
easiest way to do it, because you're just like offering a hand down.
Cool.
And I am
and
much heavier than you.
I've also I cast Mighty Strength on myself earlier,
Oh,
which
anything
puts me
Fel-
into average levels of strength.
Anything Felspar would like to do.
Felspar, realizing that it's a building full of Fae, will go into his happy place, which happens to have an anvil nearby.
Sure does.
You start to hear the sound of metal on anvil.
Gore, it'd be one last climb check to get out. This will be easier because Jen is
absolutely.
helping.
Oh, another to me. A 16 with my climber skip.
Okay. So similar thing again of so you manage to climb out, but you do scrape against one of the
Take my
spikes as you
hand!
go. Another 7 piercing damage.
Oh, no, 6 piercing damage. For I am raging, and I am still raging. I'm now bloodied again.
And then pick a square adjacent to the trap you'd like to be in.
Forward.
Forward is full of Zoc.
Sorry.
I can double move. It's fine.
You can't. I'm sorry. There's nowhere. This room is full.
There is no room, unfortunately.
Lame. Fine. Here.
Okay, so with the blockhouse on high alert, and muffled sounds of Spriggan violence going throughout, we're going to finish up the session there and then come back to it once we come back in. So Our usual plan is the second Saturday of every month, which will be the 14th of June for this coming one. I will check that up with our players and our wonderful tech wizard behind the scenes. And as soon as we've got information on that, we'll be able to let you know. But as we wind things down here, just want to say thank you very much to anyone who is watching, either live on Twitch or later on YouTube. We're going to wrap things up here, and we will hopefully see you in June. So let's make sure our tech wizard is aware. And we'll wrap things up there. Quack, quack indeed.
Nice. On that subject, very importantly, unless anyone wants to correct me otherwise, I don't think I put anything in the swear jar this session, and I'm very pleased with
well.
myself.
I'm very proud of you.
Yay!
Hang on, we can all clap.
Thank you.
Oh, there's so many, so many things.
The sound we all make when we awkwardly wait for our tech wizard to press stop. That's what happens when old people find out what soundboards are.
Hey!
Hey, I'm messing myself in this process. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I hope you all appreciate the incredible nerf I've used on the leadership feat. What with my friend being absolutely terrified of the Fae in this module.
I'll set up the poll thing now, just so I've got it. Ready to go. How many Saturdays are there in June? There are 1, 2, 3, 4.
I believe
Mm.
we're ready to say goodbye.
Yep.
So,
a tech wizard has said we're ready, so that'll be everything for now, and we will see you hopefully in June.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.